시작을 해봅시다. 이런 거 다 선택이 가능한가? 오, 되는구나. 게임도 있고, 이거는 뭔지 모르겠고요. 이건 나가는 거고. 음량 줄이고 뭐 이런 건 없는 것 같아요. 오스 게스트? 유저 태그 블랭크. 아, 여기다가 이렇게 하는 거야?
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
이건 뭐야?
Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
잠깐, 요거 자막을 꺼야 될 것 같죠? 서브타이틀 끄고.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person. I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other, just that. Stories.
여기서 어떻게 진행을 해야 되나? 휴지통은 안 되나? 올리는 것도 안 되나? 보자. 다 넣고. 머더. 살인에 관련된 단어를 검색했을 때 나오는 동영상이 4개.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
얘는 뭘 보고 있고.
Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
블랭크 블랭크.
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something. That's why I was speeding.
과속을
And
했다.
that would have been
2월에.
noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
이거는 어떤 거죠? 세션에?
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
사이먼에 대해서 알아야 되는 건데, 이러면 검색을
Simon Smith.
사이먼 스미스.
He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things. Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. And border photo instead of spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have. It's the Rockington Arms.
락킹턴 암? 드락?
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks. Yes, there's an Amstrad one.
암스트라드?
No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing. Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
선 세션에 다 있고, 이거는 봤던 거.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
웨폰. 이거밖에 없고. 단어를 검색하면 관련된 영상이 나오는 건 같은데, 그걸로 이제 새로운 동영상을 검색을 해서 연관된 것들을 유출을 하는 건가 보네요. 그렇게 흘러가는 것 같은데, 그 다음에 어떻게 해야 되는지는 모르겠는데 우선은 보죠. 계속.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass.
Ernst
Simon
Brothers
does the more
Glass.
special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful.
Ernst? 맞나? 이게 아니었나?
Simon Glass. Works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass.
여기에 빠져야 되네요. A가. 요거밖에 없는데? 글라스 관련돼서 검색하니까 동영상이 또 나왔어요.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He
문신.
has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much.
안경을
Watching
썼고.
TV. He likes TV. He wasn't present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror.
거울?
He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
거울이라는 키워드가 또 생겼고요.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
거울이라는 단어.
No, I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
요거는 근데 필요 없는 것 같은데? 아, 요렇게 나오는구나. 검색한 거에 관련해서. 지우고 싶은데? 못 지우나?
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
아까 그 술집 얘기 나온 거가 궁금한데?
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. It's the Rockington Arms.
러킹턴 암.
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
봅시다.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either. Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
이건 필요 없는 영상 같긴 한데.
No, no one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the Rock.
배광공. 에릭?
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
에릭 얘기하면서 지금 이 조사를 받는 여성이 웃고 있거든요. 뭔가 조금
Yes, there's a car that we share, a
카발리.
Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
카발리에
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
에릭 얘기가 자꾸 나오네.
Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
아, 이게 스펠링이 이게 아닌가? 잠깐. 아, 뭐 이것도 이렇게 할 수 있구나. 아. 여기다 이렇게 할 수가 있구나. 보자.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. Yeah, that's me. But February?
February.
That was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
U가 하나 더 들어갔죠? 2월.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
쓸모없는 영상.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
웹본.
Well, I don't know. I probably had to pop out and get something, that's why I was speeding. And that wouldn't have been noted on my timesheet. But I really can't remember back to February.
이것도 February인데 이렇게인가? 아닌데? 맞나? 맞죠? 두 개. 본거.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
어더 사이먼. 본거.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
사이먼. 아스트. 미러.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair.
진저.
And bought a photo. They said a spring photo.
진저 포토.
This was taken last year on holiday in Rome.
롬.
It's the best one I have.
포토. 롬.
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock. It's run by a nice
The
couple,
Rock?
Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen.
헬렌.
Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
더락. 헬렌. 피터하고 수잔.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
암스트라드.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's
암스트라드.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
사이먼. 엑스던.
No, he doesn't have any
Tattoo.
tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach,
스카.
past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
이거였던가? 타투가? 잠깐만요. 다시 한번 보죠.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos.
맞네. 스카.
He has a scar down here near his stomach. That was before, a
글라스.
long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though.
타투. 스카.
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those
Present.
arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror.
Mirror.
A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Present mirror.
Look, on his clothes,
Plus.
that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me.
실버였죠? 아마도. 다시 한번.
Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me. No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water. So, it was Friday evening.
Friday.
We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back.
Saturday.
Waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something
Eddie.
on Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local.
The Rock.
They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. Because parents haven't heard anything either.
스펠링이 왜 이렇게 생각이 안 나냐?
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. We've spoken to everyone
The
there.
Rock?
Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
여기도 더 락밖에 안 나오네요.
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago.
Plumber.
Someone sang you from the Rock.
Plumber. Plumber.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one.
Watch.
That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
하루익. 그 다음에 워치, 그리고 코트, 그리고 셔츠.
Yes, there's a car that we share.
카발리에.
Cavalier. And a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it.
카발리에 에릭.
Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
카발리에 에릭 키.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a
월렛.
Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash. But Eric convinced him to get one.
에릭 월렛 비자.
Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were
에릭
pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
다이앤. 맞나? 스펠링이?
Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
컨퍼런스. 이러면은 동영상 정리가 우선 다 됐죠? 여기서 키워드를 또 검색을 해보면 될 것 같아요. 잠깐 아까 변호사 불러달라는 게 있었는데.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
여기 검색을 해봅시다. 새로운 동영상이 또 나왔죠?
My name is Hannah.
해나.
Hannah. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work from Eric though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street. My name is Hannah.
Hannah.
It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards.
HA. 아, 이것까지 해야 돼?
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as. It reads the same backwards as.
뭔 회문이 뭐야?
It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards.
이거 딱 영국 발음인데? 여기도 미러가 나오는 것 같은데, 그쵸?
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
정리했던 거.
The mirror.
미러.
I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
Upstairs.
Silverleaf?
실버.
No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own.
실버 미러. 이제 검색을 해봐야 되는 단어가 요건 했었고 변호사? 또 있네요.
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
화났네요. 왜 화났지 갑자기? 뭔가 결정적인 증거가 나왔나?
Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
뭐야 왜 갑자기 또 여기서는 변호사가 필요 없다 그러죠? 뭐 권리라는 단어는 뭐 필요 없을 것 같고.
Yes, no lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for?
이거는 딱히 다 추가를 했고 검색 안 한 걸 봅시다. 또 스토리 또 새로운 게 나오네요. 보자.
It's Rapunzel.
라푼젤?
The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince. And Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
라푼젤이 나오는데 이건 또 뭐지?
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince. And Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
이게 뭔가 의미가 있나?
Yes, like a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end.
그냥 이거는 딱히 내용이 없는 것 같죠?
Well, she has a knife.
칼,
She's been cooking,
나이프.
I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
나이프? 나이프가 나왔는데?
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
흉기가 나이프였나? 이러면? 쿠킹? 이거가 관련이 있을까요? 모르겠지만은 우선 해놓읍시다.
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real life fairy tale.
동화를 되게 좋아하네요. 보자. 검색했고 했고요. 이거는 하나밖에 없네요. 아까 봤던 거 사진. 새로운 거 하나 나왔는데?
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
웨딩이 있었고 포토가 있었고 드레스가 있었는데 포토까지 했고 헬렌? 하나가 또 나왔네요.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
블론드? 근데 별 영향은 없을 것 같은데. 피터하고 수잔 없고, 그러면 저기에 달하는 거고. 암스트라드? 이것도 하나밖에 없네요. 액시던트 하나가 더 나왔죠?
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
이것도 딱히 뭔가 사진이 보이기 시작한다. 음악도 바뀌었고요. 타투. 또 뭔가 나왔죠?
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
사과하고 뱀.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist. He saw me singing one of my shows.
Singing.
Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Singing. 또 뭐가 있었지?
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him.
흉터. 하나밖에 없죠? 글라스도 이거밖에 없고요. 하나가 더 생겼다.
His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut.
목.
And I didn't see his glasses. There's these
안경.
thick glasses. It doesn't always wear.
프레젠트. 또 뭔가가 생겼네요. 아, 이런 식으로 키워드를 찾아서 동영상을 보는 거구나.
It was my birthday, like you said.
birthday.
We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present.
present.
I guess I didn't like the present. From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway. And Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby.
Baby.
Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
프레젠트. 베이비. 아규먼트. 또 뭐가 있지?
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved. About 8 years back. It was a present to myself.
프레젠트.
I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby.
베이비.
It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup.
커피.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back.
스토리.
She put on my wig. It's some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present.
선물,
Another mirror.
거울,
Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
뭔가 자아분열이 생긴 것 같은데?
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present.
유니크,
She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
검색했고 했고 실버. 실버는 다 나왔네요. 옷이 검색을 했었나? 클로스. 또 있네요.
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but
그냥 이거밖에 없네. 이건 딱히 중요한 영상은 아니고요.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon.
하나.
She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems.
두
The next
명이었어?
date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him.
자아분열인가?
I mean,
두 명인가?
that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
뭐지?
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had the one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said
Carl?
to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
칼이 있네. 칼은 또 뭐지?
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other.
Baby.
We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
커피? 커피를 검색해도 새로운 게 나오네요. 홀.
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
이건 뭐 중요한 거 같진 않은데.
Yes. I got to Glasgow. I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back.
글라스고.
Yes.
글라스고.
I got to Glasgow. I was. Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
하나는 블랙이고 여기는 뭐지? 아까 두 명이라 그랬죠? 아까 블랙이 있었는데? 물은 이거밖에 없고 하나가 더 있네요.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away, so I took the car.
검색하면은 슬슬 다 나오네요 이제. 세 개가 더 나왔네요.
There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
근데 결혼을 17살 때 했다 그랬는데? 신기하네요.
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
음악이 나오는 게 연결되는 건가?
Yes. He left after the argument.
아, 여기 때린 자국이 있구나.
8 o'clock.
아까 그 영상이 그러면은 사건하고 맞는 거네요. 세러데이? 또 영상이 있네.
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car.
차.
When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there and I... Excuse me. Is there a bin?
빨간 옷이 해나네요. 그쵸?
It was late. Early Saturday morning. Well, a week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
여기까진 검색했고, 더 락은 아까 검색했을 때 다 나왔죠? 그쵸? 펌블 이것도 하나밖에 없고, 와치 새로운 영상이 또 나왔네요.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but
아, 상담맨님 호스팅 감사합니다.
it felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
와치 안녕하세요. 오랜만에 봬요. 웨딩
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year.
에릭 와치.
It was a
네,
wedding
저도 요즘
anniversary.
새벽에 방송을 잘 안 해가지고
It would have been
뵙기가
very happy to
어려웠네요.
choose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
글라스고. 왔지. 다이앤. 글라스고. 그 다음에 에릭.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach and I held her head under and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment.
이거는 딱히 중요한 영상은 아니고
It was a love-hate relationship.
이거는 딱히 중요한 영상은 아니지만 코트를 검색을 안 한 것 같은데 또 새로운 영상 2개가 나오네요.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep.
이게 거짓말이죠.
I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. Eleanor?
코트였고 그 다음에 또 필요한 단어가
Okay. You can Simon's coat to the kitchen. Wasn't there. Nothing. He wasn't there. Whilst I was in the shower, I didn't answer it. I think it was. So I lay down. I didn't mean to. And I was surprised to see.
더그하고 엘레노어
That's when Eric.
더그하고 엘레노어 맞죠?
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold.
똑같죠?
I looked quickly into the
말하는
living
게?
room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see
서로
you.
지금 진술이 다르죠. 한 명은
That enough?
더그하고 엘레노아라 그랬고 한 명은 에릭이라고 하죠. 서로 진술이 달라요. 그러면 샤워도 맞고 에릭도 맞고
Okay. I sleep, but I didn't. Again, I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided.
부모님 여기까지 검색했죠. 셔츠 셔츠는 하나밖에 안 나오네. 카발리에 하나밖에 없고요. 에릭은 뭐 많으니까 키에 또 새로운 게 생겼네요. 아 이거 괜히 움직였다. 검색한 것도 어디까지 했는지 까먹었다. 여기죠?
Yes. I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
이건 그냥 키밖에 없네요.
No, I don't think it was. I turned the key, but it was already unlocked.
여긴 또 잠금이 풀려 있었대. 아까는 잠겨 있었다 그랬죠?
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me. I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
유산을 했다고?
Yeah. Their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to.
이게 맞나?
Yeah. So soon after my miscarriage.
IAG
The worst year of my life.
맞네요. 여기까지 했고 월렛 피자 하나가 또 생겼네요.
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather.
네, 상담님
He
들어가세요.
packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back.
기분 좋게 하루 시작하시기
It's the
바랍니다.
discs.
아, 다시
I haven't
봐야겠다.
seen it. So, he has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I I think that's why he's got a bad back.
아까는 비자 카드라고 했고 여기 디스크라고 하네요.
I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before. He has a wallet, a huge sealed thing, leather, real leather, I think.
레더.
He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his
조금씩 이제
He has a wallet, a huge sealed thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff.
비자 하나밖에 없고요. 다이애나 새로운 게 또 3개가 나왔네요.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
이거는 딱히 중요한 영상은 아닌 것 같고.
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
페널은 중요한 게 아닌 것 같고, 그것도 딱히. 그리고 펍.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
보자. 컨퍼런스가 있을라나? 또 있네요. 컨퍼런스가 2개. 적어놓길 잘했네.
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing, in Oxford.
이것도 딱히 중요한 내용은 아닌 것 같은데.
Are you sure? What would he be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
하고 옥스퍼드가 있었는데 옥스퍼드가 뭐 중요한 역할을 하려나? 하나. 와우, 4개나 나오네요. 요게 파일을 맞는 파일들을 찾아서 집어넣는 것 같은데 아무리 봐도.
What are you doing talking about Eve? 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 What
이브 이야기? 이브라는 단어가 중요한 것 같네요. 거짓말 테스트
Yes.
같은데.
My name is Hannah Smith.
하나.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
하나. 그다음에 어머니 이름이 양어머니 이름이 플로렌스인가 봐요.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there,
플로렌스.
was a midwife called She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
팔린드룸이라. 미러는 아까 검색했고, 업스테어. 이것도 검색했죠. 실버도 검색했고요. 필요 없는 거. 라푼젤. 네 개나 있네요.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me.
페어리테일.
Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
라푼젤.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
그냥 라푼젤밖에 없네요, 여긴.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
헤어.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
없고 오 왕자라는 단어에 또 다른 동영상이 4개나 나온다고? 대박인데?
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river and then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked, well I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
이거는 프린세스네요. 프린세스 스트리트고 그 다음에 교회가 있었고 강이 있었고 그쵸?
I don't know if anyone really changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince,
프린스
and that hasn't changed. And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic.
쌍둥이
Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
쌍둥이였구나. 나이
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
쿠킹 없고요. 새로운 게 2개나 있네요.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
딱히 여기에는 얻을 정보는 없네요.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
웨딩 치니까 2개가 더 나오네요.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was
아기
wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
홀리데이 호텔
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic.
아티
It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig.
위
Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers, drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I had a hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
위그, 아틱, 드레스,
No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me. We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth.
딱히 중요한 정보는 아니죠. 그냥 예전 얘기니까. 헬렌은 아까 검색했던 것 같은데. 사고도 검색했던 것 같고요. 그쵸? 타투도 아까 했던 걸로 기억하는데 잠깐 여기 검색표를 보면 알겠죠? 타투 했었고 고 singing 하나가 더 있네요.
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
singing 키스도 키워드가 될 수 있을 것 같은데 이러면 이건 했었고 목 두 개가 더 나오죠? 거울이네요.
On his throat. How? Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
Living room?
His throat had been cut.
컷.
There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead.
컷은 없고요. birthday, 프레젠트는 아까 했었죠?
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
딱히 의미 없는 끝.
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
pregnant. 이게 키워드가 될 것 같은데 이 미신이. 프레젠트는 했었고 베이비. 새로운 게 4개나 나왔네요. 아, 17개나 있는데 5개밖에 안 나오네.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. No, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
이게 맞겠죠?
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff,
셀러.
stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police. Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
거의 다 온 것 같은데 이러면. 링크도 하나밖에 없고, 이건 아까 검색했었죠? 임신.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
근데 왜 싸웠는지에 대한 구체적인 이유가 아직 안 나왔거든요.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
이게 다 알리바이라는 거죠? 글라스고. 와, 이거 치니까 또 4개나 나오네. 칼.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit, but he was sexy. We were 15. No, I was 15. Carl was older, 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
가족?
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
이것도 칼, 패밀리.
Some differences. She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
여기까지는 했고, 다 검색했고, 알리바이. 이것도 검색이 됐고요. 아이, 스펠링이 잘못됐잖아. 두 개가 새로운 게 또 떴네요. 세 개네.
The bruise.
멍.
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body.
멍.
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the doctor, oh, the wind and the rain, till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone, oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
뭐 조서를 하러 와가지고 노래를 부르네요. 신기한.
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
대신 임신을 하려고 한 것 같은데. sugar?
A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
tea.
Just the 1 sugar. Thanks. Is that kind of recording?
아까는 블랙커피였고 아, 이렇게 바꿀 수가 있구나. 아, 이걸 몰랐네요. 여기죠, 여기?
Black no sugar. Thanks.
No sugar. 이건 뭐지? 예. Yes.
Oh, tastes fine to me. As long as it's black and strong, I'm good. No cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
Hmm?
No cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat, but it was this little died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about it.
cat.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day, all our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits. If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match.
여기까지 했고 글라스고
So I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
아까는 병원에 갔다고 했었는데 그쵸? car.
Yeah, I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
car. sleep. 토요일 검색을 했었죠. birthday도 했었고 시계도 했었죠. 다이애나도 했었고 에릭도 했었고 와치 더그하고 엘레노어.
Yeah, I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. Yeah, I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
프레셔?
I got a job. So you see, me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
비밀.
No. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful. Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
뭐지 이건? 샤워. 키. 검색어에 키 있죠? 아까 했었고. 언락. 락. 하나가 더 있네요.
Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too. Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too.
미스 카로이지.
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
부모님,
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of
Infertile?
complications. Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile.
infertile,
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
월렛은 아까 검색했던 걸로 기억하죠? 레더? 하나밖에 없고 다이애나는 아까 검색했죠? 한 걸로 알고 있는데 했죠? 펍 두 개가 더 있네요.
no, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
펍하고 와인?
God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone follows him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
이거 슬슬 이야기 감이 잡히고 있는데
It was supposed to be a secret.
비밀.
Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Eve, friend.
A police station. Yeah, When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve, so my parents let me off. My mother called me Eve.
아, 쌍둥이 이름이 이브였구나. 그래서 이게 밝혀지는 거구나. 플로렌스.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me. Florence was a warm, kind person, but she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it, older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
쌍둥이였는데 따로따로 살게 된 거네요. 산파로 인해서.
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
라푼젤하고 페리테일즈 얘기는 했었고, 하나밖에 없고요. 교회에 대한 내용이 하나 더 있네요.
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had...
리버 칼
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
Kitchen.
I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working at the glaziers. No, everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier who doesn't have much money. I don't know. I don't know.
Twins.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins?
나이프 아까 검색했었는데, 그쵸?
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements.
Reflection. Holiday.
And the hotel said he was there?
프레그넌트는 아까 검색했었죠? 안 했나? 했죠? 가발.
A wig? You mean? What type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap? This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually we grew tired of fighting and I left. Yes, I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back, me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
요걸 검색을 안 했을 거예요, 아마. 그쵸?
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing. Like we had before.
공유?
He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But after the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
목은 아까 검색했고요. 리빙룸도 검색을 했고 탱일도 검색을 했죠. 아닌가? 안 했나? 한 걸로 기억하는데. 아, 했죠? 아기도 검색을 했고 유산도 검색했고요. 박스. 아이고.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
보자. 이거밖에 없고 글라스고도 검색을 한 것 같은데 글라스고 했죠? 병원은 안 한 것 같아. 그쵸?
ask the hospital. I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
글라스고 호스피털. First family.
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though, I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
멍.
Bruise? Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell.
검색할 거는 대충 이제 거의 다 끝난 것 같은데. T가 아직 남았네요. 헐.
Could I have a cup of tea?
그냥 T.
Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
또 T.
Is that camera recording?
별 의미는 없는 장면이었고요. No sugar. Black. Cat.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. It's stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
Cat flap.
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on
Knock
radiator
code.
pipes or the attic floor.
아, 아까 그거였구나.
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor. Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway. We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
멍은 했었고 글라스고도 했었죠. Sleep.
I sleep on the right side of the bed as you come in from the door. You can tell because I have two pillows and he just has one. Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously.
나올 거 다 나온 거 같은데 이제. 부모님을 검색을 안 한 것 같죠? 뭐 이것도 했네. 불임.
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
이부 검색을 하지 않았나요? 해보면 알겠지. 했죠? 플로렌스 패밀리도 아까 했던 것 같은데, 그쵸? 키친. 쌍둥이.
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
호텔 검색을 아까 했었나? 했었죠? 가발 멍 다락방도 했었고.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
이걸 뭐라고 해야 되지?
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
House.
Sure, yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
Pawn.
I wasn't in the house. So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
요것도 검색을 해야 될 것 같은데 이러면.
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps.
Dead cats?
They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that.
머쉬룸이고 포이즌. Dead caps. Legion.
They said it was food. They said it was the mushroom. It was. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed. Was still pretty sick of the STD. When I came down one morning, they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot. And I just let through it. The police said it was the mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognise them. And there's no way he would have picked dead caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic. I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time.
됐고. 키친 검색하지 않았나? 했죠?
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
Perspective.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. I would have been a good mother.
Mother.
I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
Ava,
but I didn't want her to have
Sarah.
a symmetrical name.
이게 2부 같은 느낌인데 딱? 슬슬 감이 잡히고 있거든요. 거의 이제 다 왔죠. Stuff.
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you? When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. We could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything.
Pawn.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private? Are you married? How is your sex life?
되게 민감하게 반응할 수밖에 없는 질문인데.
You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys. No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys.
Poison.
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I don't know.
Death caps. Legion.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. Mum was amazed.
STD. Window. Trap. 사라. 에이바. 슬롯. 근데 아직 다 안 나온 것 같은데 느낌이. 이제 검색을 다 했거든요. 뭔가 놓친 게 있나 여기서? 이대로 나가야 되는 건가? 찾을 건 다 찾은 것 같은데. 아까 진작에 엔딩을 봤던 거였네요. 이러면 근데 제가 검색을 꼼꼼하게 못한 것 같아요. 뭔가 놓친 장면이 있는 것 같은 느낌이 드는데, 그러니까 중간중간에 이야기에서 좀 빠진 부분들이 있거든요 지금. 근데 이렇게 그 추리를 하면서 단어로 검색을 해가지고 실마리를 찾는 것도 나름 재밌네요. 그리고 플레이 타임이 또 그렇게 길지 않은 것도 괜찮은 것 같아요. 조각조각을 맞추는 듯한 느낌이죠. 시점이 옛날로 갔다가 또 한참 시간이 지난 뒤로 왔다가 또 그 중간에 빈 공간들을 영상으로 메우는 것 같은데, 다는 못 찾은 것 같아요 영상을 지금. 스토리는 이제 어떻게 흘렀는지는 파악이 됐는데, 뭐 제가 이제 동영상으로 파악한 내용을 정리를 해보자면, 그러니까 해나하고 이브가 쌍둥이였는데 이제 태어났을 때 산파 플로렌스가 이브를 이제 데리고 간 거죠. 쌍둥이인 거를 알리지 않고. 그래서 이제 쌍둥이가 따로따로 맞은편에서 이제 살게 된 건데,